You know, we're living in a time where we're constantly surrounded by bad habits, vices that quietly chip away at us, leaving us carrying this heavy weight of guilt. It really takes a toll on the quality of our lives, yet it feels like there's no real cure for them. Take staying up late and waking up late, for instance. It just drains your energy, leaving you dragging your feet through the day like a total zombie. But the hardest part is, we just don't know how to break the cycle. Then there's phone addiction. It completely destroys our focus. You go through the entire day without actually finishing a single thing. We're just glued to our screens, fully aware of how toxic it is, but feeling totally helpless to fix it. Whether it's smoking, stress eating, or constantly scrolling through social media, we find ourselves trapped. So how do we actually pull ourselves out of this for good and build a healthier, better life? This video isn't just for business professionals. It's for anyone who looks at themselves, recognizes these flaws, and genuinely wants a definitive way to heal and change. Welcome back to another episode of Psychology Lessons, airing every Saturday at 7 p.m. right here on Emotional Confidant. Today, we are diving into a powerful 3-step framework to radically eliminate these habits once and for all. The Loop Method by author Charles Duhigg. Duhigg is an American journalist and researcher, and this method isn't just a random theory. It's the culmination of an incredible amount of deep research spanning healthcare, sociology, and business. It is widely recognized as one of the most effective frameworks for breaking bad habits in the world today. I am truly grateful to share this with you, so you can completely uproot these patterns starting right now. Let's step right into our first step: finding your spark and counting the real cost. Part 1. Finding the spark and counting the cost. Look, whenever you decide to tackle a habit that has been harming you for a long time, whether it's smoking until you're coughing your lungs out, chugging sugary drinks even when you feel heavy and out of shape, or checking your phone every 5 minutes and letting your entire day stall out, there is one thing you absolutely need first: motivation. And I know for a fact that you will never take action unless you have a reason that is powerful enough. Let's look at an example that almost all of us can relate to: the habit of constantly scrolling through TikTok or Instagram during work hours. And let me emphasize, during work hours when you are on the clock. How do we summon the strength to break this? I want you to grab a piece of paper and draw a simple chart with me. If you're feeling a bit too tired to sketch it out right now, don't worry. At the end of this video, I'll leave a link where you can download a printable PDF worksheet to fill in. But honestly, it's incredibly easy to draw. Just split the page into 2 columns. Make the left column large, and then divide the right column horizontally into 2 boxes. In that large left column, write down this single question: why is this habit so irresistible to me? Let's brainstorm a bit. The first reason that keeps us hooked might be the urge to stay updated, the FOMO, fear of missing out. The second reason could be waiting for validation, the notifications, the hearts, the comments. And the third reason? Boredom. When you're sitting at your desk and the tasks feel monotonous, boredom is an incredibly common root cause. Now, let's move over to the right column, into the top box, and write down this question: what are the negative impacts of this habit? Follow along closely with me here, because this step is vital. We are going to map out the consequences by tracing them at least 3 levels deep. Level 1. The immediate impact is that I completely lose my focus at work. Level 2. Because I can't focus, it takes me twice as long to finish my tasks. I'm wasting massive amounts of time. Level 3. What happens when I lose all that time? Personally, I realize I'm left with absolutely no time for the things that truly matter. I don't have time to learn, to connect deeply with my partner, or to be fully present with my kids and family. Because I'm stuck working late to make up for wasted time, I neglect my health, and my life falls into this frantic, completely reactive state. Now, let's move down to the bottom right box. Write this down. What price am I paying for this bad habit? The emotional cost. Because you have no time to truly show up, your relationships become distant and strained. Life becomes hurried, and you find yourself easily irritated. The intellectual cost. You start feeling a stagnation in your knowledge. To put it bluntly, you feel left behind. How long has it been since you actually learned something genuinely new? We need to sit with that discomfort if we want to change. The physical cost. Sitting in one place for hours, staring at a screen, causes your posture to suffer and leaves you feeling fatigued all the time. Your task now is to give these two main columns a title. Label the left column, what I gain. Label the right column, what I lose. Take a red pen and circle those two words, gain and lose. Now, look at them side by side. On one side, you have a few fleeting moments of distraction. On the other side, look at everything you are sacrificing. Is it truly worth continuing? If a habit genuinely serves you, keep doing it. But if it is actively dismantling your life, this is the moment you have to be radically honest with yourself and say, I have to stop. Write that exact sentence down. It is time for me to give up this habit. Circle the word want in red, because once you see the reality of the cost, the genuine desire to change awakens inside you. Part 2. Dismantling the habit loop. Welcome to Part 2. This is where resolve meets action. Having the willpower is a massive first step, but there is often a painful gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. That is exactly where Charles Duhigg's habit loop comes in. The model itself is incredibly elegant, consisting of 3 distinct parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. Every single habit is set in motion by a specific trigger that prompts our brain to go on autopilot. That trigger is the cue. In our example of checking your phone at work, the cue is the notification chime, the vibration, or even just the sheer physical presence of the phone sitting right in your line of sight. Once that cue fires, the routine, the action, immediately kicks in. You instantly pick up the phone and open the app. And what is the reward? You get that instant hit of new information and a temporary escape from workplace boredom. Almost every habit follows this exact loop: cue to routine to reward. Now, here is the golden rule for breaking a habit. You must intervene at the level of the cue, the routine, or ideally, both. Do not try to alter the reward. It's deeply wired into your biology and psychology, making it a losing battle. So, let's see what happens if we disrupt the cue first. You could turn off notifications, but if the phone is still sitting right there, your hand will eventually wander over to it out of pure muscle memory. If you are truly serious, here is a highly effective disruption. Use a secondary basic brick phone with no internet capabilities for essential calls at work, and leave your smartphone completely at home. By doing this, you have radically eliminated the queue at its root. If you try to find a loophole by opening social media on your work laptop, eliminate that queue too. Set up strict two-factor authentication linked to a SIM card that stays at home. You physically cannot log in. When you get that decisive with your environment, you break the habit's power completely. Now, let's look at how we can intervene at the level of the routine. There is a profound psychological truth you must understand. You cannot truly delete an old habit. You can only replace it with a new one. A negative habit cannot simply be left as a vacuum. It must be replaced by a healthier action that satisfies a similar need. Instead of trying to just sit there and suffer through the urge, you need to consciously substitute the action. The moment the craving hits, stand up and strike up a brief conversation with a colleague. This naturally satisfies the reward of relieving boredom and getting social stimulation. Step out onto the balcony to get some fresh air, or walk up and down a flight of stairs. Slowly but surely, your brain learns a brand new, positive loop. Look at the beautiful transformation here. Before, the old loop left you stagnant and anxious. Now, a beautiful new pattern takes over. You are sharper during work hours, and when you need a mental break, you use it to build genuine connections, move your body, or send a loving text to someone who matters. Part 3. The Domino Effect and Final Thoughts. As we wrap up today's session, I want to leave you with a few crucial guideposts for your journey. The first thing to keep in mind is that habits operate on a domino effect. When you successfully shift the single largest, most dominant bad habit in your life, you'll find that smaller secondary negative habits often begin to correct themselves automatically. Because of this, please do not try to overhaul 5 or 6 habits all at once. That is a recipe for burnout. Choose just one habit, the one that you feel is draining you the most right now, and pour your focus into transforming that single loop. For those of you who want to dive deeper into the science behind this, I highly recommend reading Charles Duhigg's best-selling book, The Power of Habit. It's a phenomenal foundation. To stay on the cutting edge of his recent work, a quick Google search for Charles Duhigg blog will bring up a wealth of updated research for you to study. Lately, I've received some helpful feedback letting me know that our sessions can run a bit long. Originally, I had planned to map out 2 more full examples today on how to quit smoking and how to stop swearing, but out of respect for your time, I decided to hold back on those for now. Instead, I'll find an opportunity in the very near future to do a live stream dedicated entirely to those topics so we can dive deep together. Thank you so much for hanging out with me through another episode. I appreciate your time more than words can say. Don't forget to check the description below to grab your printable PDF worksheet for today's lesson. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all next Saturday. Bye-bye for now.